Hi there, so today we're going to take a look at this scene we've got here in Pro Tools, and we're going to do a redesign of this using Krotos Studio Pro and Krotos Studio Max. So Krotos Studio Max contains Krotos Studio Pro, but also our extensive sound library that comes with it that you can use to augment the workflow from Krotos Studio, so using a traditional library as well as the performative interactive workflow of Krotos Studio Pro, so you get the best of both worlds. So the first thing we see here is some vehicles going down a road and they're in a countryside environment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the countryside ambience for this. So I've got a stereo instrument track here with Krotos Studio on it. I'm going to set up the inputs of this next stereo tracks here to plugin and tabs 1 to 4. This means that each of these tabs is going to receive the output from Krotos Studio. So this is a really powerful workflow for us to get the stems of the ambience that we're going to create. It's going to help us in the mix and gives us much more control over the output of Krotos Studio. So let's do that now really quickly. So one more track I needed to create there. Okay, so now we've got tabs 1, 2, 3, 4 set up as the inputs to these stereo audio tracks in our session. So I've already loaded the countryside preset here, and if I press start, it'll start to generate that environment. So now I can make a mix of the elements. So I don't really want the countryside stream. The farm animals that may be generated, we're going to get out as a separate stem. You can hear the animals there. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to press record. Now as this generates, we'll see this is being printed out onto the timeline here. That's going to be really, really handy now for us to mix. So let's stop that now. I'm going to stop the preset. So now we've basically got each of these stems bounced out from Krotos Studio that gives us maximum flexibility. So we should have just the birds and insects on this first layer. We should now have the wind on the second layer. And we should have the animals on the next layers. So this is going to be really, really helpful for us. So for example, we see some animals that are occurring here right at the end. I can bring those further forward and we can put those into the mix wherever we want them. So it gives you much more control over the Krotos Studio Ambience workflow there. Okay, cool. So let's just adjust these layers a little bit based on how they've generated, and let's dive straight into the next scene and do the ambience.